My main bathroom is where our guests come and I'm in the middle of tiling it right now. Actually, is so important because anybody who comes over is going to inevitably use the bathroom if they're over for an extended period of time. So it's got to be good, right?
Well, the good thing is that David Fratianne is here. Bathroom design, that's your thing, among others. You are an architect.
I am.
You've practiced for a couple of decades.
That's true.
So we figured you know what's what when it comes to the bathroom.
I've done quite a few, especially here in New York City.
So you can tell us what to do.
Well, I always approach all my projects as an architect, and so I always want the bathroom to feel like it's part of the space, whether it be an apartment or a townhouse or a home. So I come at it, more than just the interior and finishes. I want to plan it, and one of the big trends now is people really want to pack a lot into bathrooms, especially in New York. They become much more sophisticated as far as creating areas in the bathroom that have specific uses, like a separate toilet room, double sinks.
We call that the throne in my house. Not that we've got one.
So there's so many choices. I think that's the biggest thing about bathrooms is where do you start? And I really like to try to get a sense of what my clients like aesthetically, and then sort of hone in on things. Because if you start bringing them to tile showrooms, it's so overwhelming. So
there's a million choices and finishes
there really
for
are.
Tile. It's not just ceramics, and then there's glass, and it is overwhelming.
It is, and the porcelain's become a big material in that it's sustainable. It's made of clay. It's a lot harder than ceramics, and I find it has a little crisper edge, and I tend to use those more than the traditional ceramic tile as far as a finish. They make great floors. You could do them on walls. I do a lot of glass. There's all different kinds of glass sizes. You can even do them on the floor now. There's a milk glass. I've done all white bathrooms that are spectacular, where everything from floor to ceiling is basically a glass finish.
You can do glass on the floor.
Absolutely.
That's new to me.
Yeah, they make a 3/8 inch tile. It comes about 18 by 18. You can do slab. I do tub surround. So I've done last year I did a project.
Not slippery.
No.
This is the big discussion. The first time we had to pick tile.
Right.
I don't want marble, says my husband, because it's going to be slippery.
Well, any hone finish on the floor is going to be fine. If you take down the finish and take off the sheen by just a little bit, I do that a lot in showers specifically, where a client will say, let's take the finish back a little bit. I don't want to slip. Perfectly safe. I've had no issues with that, as long as it's treated with a hone finish.
I just said, it's not marble, it's limestone.
Which is, again, it has more to do with the finish than the
Not to
material.
worry, honey. I got it covered.
It's okay. Now, when you're going about designing and you're talking with the clients about what they like, do you go and kind of investigate other parts of their house or apartment to get a sort of an idea of what they're thinking, like what their style is?
Well, yes, that's true. A lot of times I'm brought in where they've got to have an apartment that's either they've inherited when they purchased it, or they haven't really designed anything yet. So sometimes it's a challenge because you're trying to start from scratch in every part of the apartment or the home or the townhouse. So you have to sort of educate them, and then you try to bring things together. I had a client last year who had a very strong taste for arts and crafts. So we wanted to bring that into the bathroom. So it was, we brought that element in. So the apartment had a sort of uniform theme. They already knew what they wanted. But a lot of times clients really don't. You really have to lead them on a way and move along a process. And then you get to the bathroom and you finishes and all of that.
All right, so here's the thing. If y'all are thinking about anything to be redone in your bathroom, or even the entire bathroom, you can ask David what to do. Also, you can ask him how to speak to your designer, architect, or contractor so that what he says gets translated into what you were actually going to do, because I think part of the battle is communication.
Absolutely. If you have a client that you can communicate with and you get a sense that you find a direction, it becomes so much easier. I encourage questions and people that want options, and that really is
you heard
important.
it. He said he encourages questions. It's like begging to give free advice to you.
It's like
866-675-6675. Seriously, you have Brian Kelsey, who is a very hands-on DIY guy here, and you have David Fratianne, who is an architect whose specialty is bathroom design. Ask whatever you want.
The bathroom is our, besides the kitchen, the bathroom is where we spend a lot of our money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I thought you were going to say time.
Time.
I'm like, really?
Sometimes.
No, but they're very expensive.
Yeah.
They can be, and I'm glad you brought up kitchens because they do kind of work in tandem, and they're the same kind of decisions you make in a kitchen you will make in a bathroom. It's a smaller space, probably.
Right, to keep the plumbing or move the plumbing, is that like a big deal?
It's becoming less so. I wanted to bring up some new things. I mean, they now have vanities that sit off the floor and toilets that are wall mounted, which has made my life so much easier in New York, where you want to move a toilet, even in a home. You don't have to rip up the plumbing in the floor. You can run the plumbing in the walls. The advantages are twofold. You can put the toilet wherever you want in the bathroom, and the second is you can clean underneath it very easily. And these things
I
are becoming
love that.
Yeah,
they're becoming
love
a
that.
huge trend, and the price of them has come down. There's a chassis in the wall. They hang off the wall. They look beautiful. They're
And
very
wait,
well
does
designed.
everyone know how to install them, or does this take some special expertise?
I think most plumbers nowadays know what they're doing. It's pretty easy. It's basically installing the chassis and then connecting the toilet, and then there's basically a button on the wall that you press to flush the toilet, and then there's an access
Oh, it's like
panel.
going to a restaurant.
It is.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
And I've used them almost exclusively now for about 5 or 6 years because they are so convenient.
And the same thing you said goes for a vanity. I love the look of that, of a vanity with no legs. That's basically floating. It's attached to the wall.
Yeah, and another trend is modular units. You go to any design show now, you see vanities and sinks that are they come together as a unit, and you can get all kinds of finishes.
So you get to pick drawers or doors,
and then
how wide, or if you want to make a area, that kind of thing.
Exactly. There's lots of options for modular vanities or custom-made ones that don't sit on the floor that you can put a sink directly on. Obviously, there's a trend now for these sort of vessel sinks that sit on like either a piece
Can we
of furniture.
talk about that,
Sure.
Brian?
Why, you want a vessel sink?
No, I don't, but I'm wondering if you do.
I don't, because I like the look of. I actually put in I really like the look of this, and I don't know if it's a trend or not, but like a hand hammered nickel sink. I put in my vanity. I converted from an old dresser. It's all mahogany, of course, my favorite wood. And
Did you hear me roll my eyes?
Come on. And it's an undermount sink, and it's a big, thick mahogany top. And I just like the look of that. But the vessel sinks are popular, the concrete ones. And I put in a glass one. A friend of mine wanted a glass top one.
Oh, you made it to their house?
This was a while ago. This
Fine.
was way before I met you. Mm-hmm. Her bathroom is great because it's small.
There's not much you can fit
There's
in
not
it.
much you can do, and it's
like,
good.
I'll help you in that tiny little space.
But let's face it, you here in New York, not a lot of the bathrooms are huge. I mean, so you have to
do
work
you like
with.
the vessel sink?
It's the look that
Honestly?
I in certain circumstances, sure, I really do like it.
I
It
like
really
the
fits.
look without loving the function sometimes. Some of them are a little shallow.
It's true.
And then they're, if you have children, I don't know if everyone thinks about this, but you're thinking about cleaning and how convenient it is to have wall-mounted fixtures. So I've seen my children kind of decimate a bathroom with water using that sink.
I tend to go for that look more in a powder room where it's something that's used not as a bathroom, where it's really a feature.
Occasional.
And it's it's a nice look. I've had a lot of clients in the last couple of years say, I don't like vanities and sink tops that are at a normal 31 inches off the floor. I want it higher. There's just been
Are they tall people?
Some of them are, but I really have a lot of people that say, I don't like bending over at the sink. So I've done a lot more at countertop height, which is like a 36-inch countertop. And they love it because they just don't, they either have a back condition or they just don't like the idea of doing it. And if they're going to custom make it, I've gotten a lot of requests for heightening up the
I get that.
vanities.
My
I
New
do
York
too.
City kitchen was actually 3 inches higher on the counters than normal because a tall person built it.
But it is nice if we're going to wash your face or something, not to have to go all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I learned to wear heels in my kitchen. Just kidding.
Right.
So
Around
what are the questions we need to ask? Say we're starting from scratch and we are meeting, if not with you, with an architect wherever we might live. The questions we need to ask and the things we need to know about ourselves so that we can make sure our bathroom design is what we want it to be.
Well, to